Hi, this is Steph, and I just wanted to mention really quick before we jump into the show that Britt and I decided that we wanted to do a meetup at D23, and it will be on Saturday, August 10th at 8:30 at Tangaroa Terrace, which is at the Disneyland Hotel. A lot of annual passes have blackouts that day, so we are going to do it at Tangaroa Terrace at the Disneyland Hotel. We would love to have some of our listeners come out and meet up with us. We've had lots of email requests. And we have buttons that we'll share with you if you want to come and meet us. So once again, it's 8:30 at Tangaroa Terrace. If you think you'll be there, shoot me an email and we will watch for you. You can contact us at capturingmagic.me and click on the contact button. Thank you so much. Enjoy the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thousands of memories are created on your magical vacation. Those memories can live on forever in the photos that are taken. Join us today as we go on a journey in Capturing Magic.
Welcome to Capturing Magic. I'm Steph from capturingmagic.me and thedailydigi.com. This is episode 51, recorded on July 23rd, 2013. I am here with my co-host, Brittney Leavitt, who can be found at britishdesigns.com, where she creates digital scrapbook supplies. Hi, Britt.
Hello.
I'm excited about this show today.
I know, me too.
Yeah. Okay, we don't have any guests today. It's just you and me.
And we haven't been just you and me for a long time.
Really long time. It feels kind of like an empty room.
It does. But I kind of like it, though.
I know, I do too, actually. It's great.
Yeah.
It gives us some time to reconnect a little bit, and that's really exciting. One of the things that I wanted to talk about really quick was D23, which is coming up, and we talked on our last show about the fact that you and I are going to be there.
Yay!
Along with a bunch of other people from the capturingmagic.me team. And that's really exciting. So we were wondering if our listeners wanted to do a meetup somewhere. So if you're interested in doing a meetup, maybe in downtown Disney or something like that, it doesn't have to be inside the parks, because I know we have some listeners that don't have annual passes. And so we could do it actually in downtown Disney or somewhere. If you're interested, though, please let us know and we'll set something up, even if it's only a couple people. I've already had one person let me know that they're interested in it.
Cool.
Yeah. So we would love to do it. If you are interested in having a meetup with the Capturing Magic team, our writers, and Britt and myself, we would love to meet you. So head on over to capturingmagic.me, click on the contact form, shoot me an email, let us know, or you can always send us an email at mail@capturingmagic.me. And that'll come to both Britt and I and say, hey, I want to meet up. And we'd be happy to do that.
Cool.
Alrighty, are we ready to jump into today's?
I think so. No other news or anything?
No, one of my apps that one of my picks at the end of the show is a little bit of news-ish, but I'm saving it for my pick.
Oh, okay.
So unless you had something.
Nope.
Alrighty then. Today we are going to be hearing about Britt's trip to Disneyland. We talked about it briefly last week and the week before because you had a sudden trip. Kind of unexpected.
Very unexpected. I think the episode before I was gone, we talked about how I was like planning for October. We got our tickets and blah, blah, blah. Like I was all talking about our October trip. And then the very next episode, I was not there.
Yeah. Exactly. So tell us how you found out. Let's start from there.
Well, we were just sitting around at night and Josh, it was like, so do you want to go to Disneyland in like 6 days? I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, let's just go. And he started talking about how it was the 4th of July and he could just get some work off and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, are you serious? He's like, well, I got to ask, some people at work tomorrow, but I think so. And so by the next day we knew for sure. And so then after that, I had about 5 days to get it all put together. It was crazy. And we knew going into it, it was going to be 4th of July. It was going to be busy and hot. But we already had our tickets for October, so we could just use those in July. And then since we're going in October anyway, go ahead and upgrade those to annual passes at the end of our trip, because you can do that where it puts the money that you used for your tickets toward the price of an annual pass if you do it before your trip's over.
Yes. We've done
so that was good. So I felt, and once you're going, well, for us, once you're going 2 or 3 times in a year, it's basically worth it to get an annual pass. So it worked out really well. Like it just sort of all fell together. Like that never happens for us. Like we talk about it all the time jokingly, like, oh, don't you wish we could just go to Disneyland next week or today or, right. We never do it. So I'm a planner. I like to plan. So
right.
Yeah,
it was crazy for Disney trips.
I know it was crazy, but I was still able, since I had, a few days to put some last minute stuff together. I wrote an article on our blog about it, what I was able to throw together quickly and blah, blah, blah.
capturingmagic.me. So we should link up to that, I think.
Okay, I will. Yeah, and it just sort of what I was able to fit in last minute, what I was able to let go, of my normal trip planning. But it was fun. It was really good. So yeah. So I thought today we could talk about the things that the things I learned, my successes and failures.
Yeah, this is one of the things that we actually want to do kind of as a regular feature. Anytime either of us go to the parks, is kind of go through what worked for us and what didn't work for us as it relates to memory keeping and capturing and creating magic in the parks, which is kind of different from what most trip reports are.
Yeah, not like a trip report like this is what we did first and then da-da-da. Not like that. More like what we did, what I wrote down. All my notes are about things that I did that I've either talked about wanting to do on the show or things that I figured out while I was there that are good for capturing magic, stuff like that.
Great. Let's jump into it then.
Okay. There are a few things that are a little bit like touring tips, I guess, but mostly that relate to capturing magic. Yeah. Hopefully that makes sense.
We've done that before on the show, especially when we did the Cars Land show or the New Fantasyland show. We gave some tips for that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's all good.
Yeah. So in my article that I wrote about our last minute planning, I talked about doing our hour by hour road trip presents. So as far as before the trip, before we even got there, that's kind of one of the main things we had. It's in the car. I had like a gift to give Scarlett and let her open that was something to do in the car, like an activity or something just to help the ride. Where she's only 2, it's not like I had to really be at it, like really strict about, every hour I had a present or whatever. It was, and she slept too. So it was like whenever I needed one, I pulled one out, more than it was like, okay, and it's been an hour, now I get another one, where I think an older kid would know that. They would be like, okay, it's time to get a present, Scarlett wanted them all right then, of course. Like I gave her one, and then she's like, I have another one? I'm like, nope. So that worked pretty well. I mean, a 2-year-old's hard to entertain in the car anyway. So
how much drive time is it for you?
Excuse me. I'm choking. Oh goodness. Sorry. It's about 10 hours, but we break it up and usually leave in the evening and stay halfway. Well, it's more than halfway. And then get up in the morning, and we have like a 3 or 4 hour drive that morning. So we usually break it up that way. But so it wasn't too bad. It's really not bad at all. We're used to it because we do it a lot. So and you would think that she would sleep through a lot of it, but our child is weird and doesn't sleep in the car really. So she was awake until about 10 minutes before we got to our hotel that first night, which was like almost 11 o'clock at night. Oh. She was awake until then. Yeah. And then awake the whole next morning as well. But so the present thing worked out well. I would recommend it if you need an activity to give your kids or, just something extra and fun to do in the car on the drive there if you're road tripping it to Disney. It was fun. It was something I found on Pinterest and it ended up working out. So
tell us what kinds of things you did, what kinds of gifts.
What kind of gifts? Yeah. I think the most successful one was actually the most expensive one, and it wasn't that expensive. It was like, I think like $6 or something, but I printed out a whole bunch of pictures from our last Disney trip and then put them in just like a really inexpensive little album. like from Michael's, one of those little clear ones. And she loved that. And so she opened it and was so excited to look at all the pictures and see the things that we were about to go do. And we could talk about, do you remember that? What she doesn't remember, but we're like, do you remember this? And we're going to go ride this. And it was fun. And she looked at that book a lot, both ways, to there and home.
Fun.
She looked at that book. So that was probably the best of the presents. And then we had little dumb things like crayons and coloring books, which I thought she would love, which she didn't really care about so much. And this little stack of plastic bangle bracelets that she played with and put on and loved. And then one of the other most successful things were these little slinkies, plastic slinkies, and she loved them. I don't know why, but she played with those for way, way longer than I thought she would.
Isn't it funny how that happens?
I was like, okay, the slinkies are a hit. That's great. Oh, and then at night when it was dark, I gave her glow sticks, which was really fun.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
One of the things I wanted to mention is that over Easter time, right after Easter, actually, after the Monday after Easter, I went to Target and they had tons and tons and tons of Disney-related Easter little treats. And so they had Star Wars and Cars and Princesses and Fairies and candy. It was candy and then also little like nail pet manicure kits and just crazy tons of stuff. And it was all 50 to 70% off the day after Easter. And so I stocked up and bought a ton of stuff. And I think I only spent $20. I got a full Target bag full.
Nice.
Yeah. So be sure, a tip, check after the holidays, Christmas, Valentine's, Easter, all of those, and the dollar store.
Yeah, the dollar store. I got most of my stuff at the dollar store or from like dollar bins at Michael's or whatever. And both of those, the dollar bins at Michael's and like the dollar spot at Target, they have tons of Disney stuff and like cute stuff. And so most of the stuff I gave her was Disney. I know the ones I just mentioned were not, but most of the stuff I gave her was Disney. And I came home with extras that we didn't open that I'm going to save for next time. Just because we didn't get to them. Like, we just didn't need them.
Yeah. Anytime there's a new movie being released, a new Disney movie being released, the dollar spot at Target usually has tons of really fun, cute stuff. And they've had tons of Monsters, Inc. stuff with the release of that movie. So that's a great tip.
So, and it's fun, like some of the stuff she's used since then, like I gave her these double-ended princess crayons where like one end is one color and the other end is another, and they all have princesses on them. And she loves those still. Like they're just in my purse, and whenever we're out somewhere, she wants to color with them. So they're stuff that even it wasn't a total throwaway. Like we'll still use them. And like her Disney album we look at still, and I mean she still plays with these things. So it's not like it was just a junk. Yeah. Some of it is a little junky, but whatever. It's fun. So it was something that it was a successful thing. And I think as she gets older, even it would be more successful too.
Yeah.
So if you have older kids, I think it would be hard to give a present to every child every hour. If you have a lot of kids, that's a lot of presents.
Yeah.
But maybe if there are more presents that like everybody could play with, I don't know. I don't know how you do it when you had a lot of kids, but it was fun.
I don't know either, but because I don't think I have of myself as having a lot of kids. I have 3. That's a lot to some people, but not a lot to a lot of people.
And if your kids are older and you really are driving for 10 hours and they really are expecting a present every hour, that's like 30 presents. So that's a lot.
It is a lot.
But if you're only doing like $1 per present, then, you've only spent $30. Mm-hmm. So. And that's not bad for a fun activity. And where they were kind of Disney related, it was kind of getting us amped up for Disney. It was fun.
Yeah, things with like the glow sticks, you could break those packages apart, you know.
Sure. And I just got all mine at the dollar store. We used glow sticks at the park and then also in the car. And there was like on the way home, I think it was, we gave her this one glow stick. It was gigantic. I got it at the dollar store. It was so cool. It was like a lightsaber. Like it was humongous, and she loved it. It was so big. I've never seen such a huge glow stick.
How fun.
But it was at the dollar store. So yeah, you can definitely break those up, and then you spent less than $1.
Yes. Perfect. Okay, next tip.
Okay, so I talked about how the next time I went to Disney, I wanted to follow Kim Lund's What to Wear article that she posted on the Capturing Magic blog and coordinate our outfits a little better, because on our last trip, I liked what we wore at the time, but then when I came back and looked at the pictures, I just had a really hard time like scrapbooking them and like, because they coordinated, but they were so bright and weird that we didn't coordinate with what we were around, with our surroundings, if you will. So I read Kim's article like multiple times and went through our clothes and really figured out what we could wear. And I've never picked out Josh's clothes before. I usually don't go there. But I was like, okay, I really want to coordinate outfits. Is it okay if you show me which shirts you like and then I'll pick a couple? He's like, sure. Like, he didn't care. So I was like, okay, good. But it was totally worth it. It makes such a difference. In our group pictures, we look so much better. Like, we look cute together and we look cute with what's around us. And it's not like I matched us with the land we were in or anything. I don't know. Something about Kim's method of just somewhat coordinating
to a color palette.
I think so, yeah. It just really does make a big difference. And we're not like matchy with each other. Like, it's not like we all wear blue or, but it's somewhat coordinated and then also not super weird colors that don't go with anything else around you. Like, for example, the mistake we made is Josh and I have these shirts they're actually the same shirt, but he has a green one and I have a like bright neon pink one, and then we have matching ears. I have bright neon pink ears and he has bright green ears, and they're really cute. But in the pictures, like, I love it when we wear them because I look at us and I'm like, oh, we're so cute. But then I look around at the pictures and I'm like, oh my word, I hate it. I don't like it. It looks so weird in all our pictures wearing those outfits. So yeah, we didn't wear those this time. So we just sort of avoided neon colors, really bright, odd colors that don't look great with other things. More just not neutral, but just easier colors. I don't know how to explain it. So I think it turned out really well. Like, I looked at all of and every day we take at least one group picture together. So not on purpose, but just that's how it goes usually. So in all our group pictures, we look cute. In the ones where it's just me and Scarlett or just Josh and Scarlett, like, it looks cute.
It all works. I can't wait to see some photos.
Yeah, I'll post, I can post our group ones in the show notes if you want, like just one from each day or something.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'll post that link to that What to Wear article too. And I've talked about it on the show. I feel like I talk about the same like 5 articles all the time, but they're ones that really did help me. So
yeah, I totally get it.
So yeah, I'll put in one per day or something of our group shots so you can see what we wore. But, and I didn't end up buying, well, that's not true. I ended up buying one new shirt and then I bought Scarlett a new shirt too. Or maybe 2.
Before you left, or was this?
Yeah, before we left, for sure. Not in the park. Those are too expensive for our blood, but.
Yeah. So did you get the Old Navy ones?
No, they hadn't quite come out before we had left. Like, they were online, but not
in the store.
In the stores. And so I didn't really have time to get those. So no, I did not go to Old Navy. And I needed to do something fast. So I was like, wherever I just happened to be at that store, then I looked there. So I wasn't making like extra trips to Old Navy and stuff. Yeah. Because like I said, I had 5 days. I was in a hurry.
Almost not even enough time to get stuff from Amazon.
I know. That's the thing is that day we like confirmed it. That's the day I ordered stuff on Amazon. Because I was like, okay, if I need to order anything, like I ordered me some new flip-flops and whatever, but I ordered it that day because I was so worried. Because and we had a weekend in there, so you had that kind of throws off your shipping time too.
And a holiday coming up.
And a holiday, it was coming up. So yeah, the coordinated outfit thing was a success. I would really definitely recommend that. And not to be obsessive about it. Like I wasn't like, oh my gosh, these blues don't go and whatever. And I think Kim's like that too, where it's not like if you look at her pictures, it's not like they're all wearing matching clothes, but for some reason they all look good together and they look good with what they're around. So I was very pleased with how cute we looked.
Yes. You know what you need to do is post a before and after from this to this.
From our last trip. Yeah. Our last ugly outfit. No, they weren't ugly outfits. That's the thing is it's frustrating because I thought we looked so cute and it's not like I just wore whatever without thinking about it. Like I thought we coordinated, but.
And you did.
We did, but.
Each other.
Yeah. But like in other, like meeting certain characters and like, I don't know. I just think we look bizarro in those other pictures, but Josh is probably laughing because he's probably never thought that, but in our pictures. But yeah. Okay. So moving on from coordinated outfits. Okay. So PhotoPass. As we were only 5 days out, it was not enough time to do your pre-order for your PhotoPass Plus. You have to have at least 10 days. They like you to have 2 weeks so that they can send you that voucher. But I did not even have close to that. So our plan was to just go to Disney and get PhotoPass Plus while we were there. Right. So as we were going to do that, we were talking to the PhotoPass people in the camera center or whatever. And it turns out that we didn't need PhotoPass Plus because we didn't do any rides that had ride photos because we have Scarlett and neither of us are doing single rider. And even if we were doing single rider, I don't really need a ride photo of myself riding a ride all alone.
Oh, come on.
A little lame, right? So
Did you see today's post on the site? There are several of me riding by myself.
So, okay. Well, I personally didn't need those. And we didn't ride every single rider. And I was pregnant, so I wasn't riding anything, right? Yeah. So we didn't have any ride photos and we didn't have any character dining. And that's the only thing that separates PhotoPass Plus from just if you haven't pre-ordered, then you're basically, it would be like we were spending $30 for nothing.
Yes.
So as we were talking to the PhotoPass people, they helped us realize that we didn't need it. And they just said, keep your PhotoPass cards and then come back at the end of your trip and put them all together and do the $69 CD before you leave.
Yes, because you can buy that and still get that super great deal in the park.
Yes. So I said, can I go home and do that? And they were like, I don't know. And the weird thing about PhotoPass, I feel like it's just confusing. Like, they don't really know the answers. The website doesn't really tell you the answers. It's like unclear.
Yeah,
some of the PhotoPass ordering stuff. But I think when you come home, if you don't order it in the park and pay $69 for your CD in the park, if you come home and do it, it's like a lot more.
Yeah, I think it's 90. Yeah. You either have to pre-order or get that CD in the park. And before they had PhotoPass Plus, that's what I always did, was I went to the park and bought the combo with the CD, and now I've got like hundreds of those stock photo CDs.
Yeah.
But it's a really good deal.
This is what I did, because they asked me when it finally got to the end, and I was putting all my photo passes together because we had a couple cards because we didn't have ours one day. And then we were combining them all. And the lady was like, okay, do you want your CD now or do you want to do the thing where we send it to you later? And I was like, well, what's the difference? And she said, it's the same price, but the one that we send to you at home, you one thing, don't have it right away. Like, you don't have your pictures. But if you do that way, then you get the stock photos and you get the option of doing all the frames and signatures, which we've talked about before. I don't really care about those at all. So I didn't do any of that. And so my CD is just our pictures. I don't have stock photos and I don't have any frames or signatures. They're just my PhotoPass photos.
You were able to get it that day.
And they gave it to me right. I mean, I sat there, they went back and burned it, and 5 minutes later they brought it out to me.
Who knew they had that option?
Came home. I don't know. This is my first experience doing this. I've never done it before. So this is my first time. So I didn't know that was like not a normal thing. But it was awesome because I came home with my PhotoPass CD.
Yeah.
Like, I had it right then. I could look at it at the hotel that night,
Yeah.
So one of my failures, I didn't realize until I was making notes for this show, is I think what happened is we lost a PhotoPass card from our first day because I didn't realize that none of our photos from our first day are on my PhotoPass CD. And it's not the end of the world because we didn't take very many at all the first day. The first day was like a half day, and it was the 4th of July. It was really, really busy in the park, and there was not very many PhotoPass photographers out at all. And we were really hot, and we only had, like I said, we got there at like 3 in the afternoon because we had given Scarlett a nap first and stuff. So we were only there from about 3 to 9. So it was kind of a half day. And I think we only really took photos in front of the castle with the PhotoPass person. I can't remember if we took any others, but I luckily have a really great photo that I handed thankfully, I handed my camera to the PhotoPass person and took that family photo in front of the castle on my own camera, and it turned out great.
Oh, good.
So it's not the end of the world, but it's still a bummer, and it's still a huge mistake. So don't do that.
Yeah. And
make sure you get take pictures of all your PhotoPass cards, and make sure you remember how many you have if you have more than one, because it was, I mean, like I said, I did not even realize it until today, because I think there really are only those few photos that we might have missing.
Yeah.
Because we didn't meet any characters that day or anything, because it was so busy and crazy.
Yeah, that would be a crazy time to go. You can also, after the fact, call them, and if you know about the time and where you were when you took the photo, they can find those photos for you. I've had them do that before, and it's pretty amazing.
Like if you want to order them again or something?
If you wanted to have those added or whatever, I would be interested to know if you called them and said, I forgot about, we were missing some photos, and is there any way we can have them added?
Yeah, when I texted Josh this morning about it, because I was like, guess what we forgot to do? And we must have lost this card. And he's like, I'm going to go through all my stuff. Let's go through and see if we can find it. I thought we took a picture of the back of it. So we'll have to go through and see if we can find that number, and then use the website to look it up, because it'll still be on there. And then he said, I wonder if we call them if they would do anything for us.
Yeah, because when we were in Disney World, the Wreck-It Ralph photos from meeting Wreck-It Ralph and Penelope, none of them were on the PhotoPass card that they should have been on. And there were photos that we took right before that on that PhotoPass card and right after that, but none of when we met Penelope and Wreck-It Ralph, which was an amazing character interaction for my little girl. And so I called them, and they were able to track them down and add them all.
Yeah, they told us several times. We had several PhotoPass photographers tell us, no matter what you're going to do, if you're going to order it now or order it later, take your cards into the PhotoPass place and just view them all before you go, because there's a chance that you have some pictures missing, and then we can find them for you. And that's much easier to do here than after you leave.
Yes.
And so we were like, okay, like that kind of made me nervous, because I was like, okay. And then even when we did it, I didn't even realize that we did have PhotoPass pictures missing from that first day. So I do wonder if they're missing off of a card, or if they're just missing in general. I can't remember any other pictures that we took with a PhotoPass photographer that day, except for the in front of the castle pictures, because it was so busy. And even then we had to wait for a couple of families to take their picture before we could do ours and stuff. Like there just weren't that many PhotoPass people out. I think it was just too crazy of a day. I don't know. Yeah. And it was so hot. So we weren't waiting around for PhotoPass very much that day. Right. But it's a big bummer. I'm sad. It was a failure for sure to realize that. Something else
Can I jump in real quick on that one?
Yeah, absolutely.
One of the things that would be helpful for people is to know that the Capturing Magic iPhone apps you can also enter in anytime you're taking a photo with PhotoPass. And so when you go to, check your PhotoPass photos, you can check it against the iPhone app to make sure that you have all those.
See, if I was smart enough to be doing that, then yes, I would have. And that I'm jumping ahead of my notes, but that was another one of my big failures, is trying to use the Capturing Magic app, not because the app, I couldn't use it. The app works beautifully. It was me having a failure. My brain couldn't do everything I was trying to do on this trip. I couldn't do my 2-year-old and my husband and I had to really cut back on my technology side of the trip and turn off a lot of things and just stop doing that, so I could really just enjoy the time we were having. So I failed in using a lot of the apps that I had planned on using and that I wanted to try while I was there. Right. I totally failed on that. So, and I feel really bad because I really wanted to use the Capturing Magic app, and I know it would have helped me. I really, one of the hugest lessons I learned on this trip was it is really different to take a 2-year-old to Disneyland than it is an 18-month-old. She was a lot more work than I was expecting. She was exhausting.
Well, it was the first time that you've done it without extended family and stuff too with her, right?
Yep. It's the first time we've done just the 3 of us on more than one day. We usually have at least a day to ourselves, but Yeah, for sure. It was an eye-opening experience for both Josh and I. And I was pregnant, so I was already really tired and hot. And so throwing this on top of everything, it was just a lot. I was really tired by the end of the day.
Yeah.
And yeah, I really had to cut back on a lot of things. And
That's understandable.
So next time, now that I've done it and I can sort of, I have it a little more figured out, I think I'll be okay and ready to use the capturing magic app. I think it would have been helpful, and I don't think that it has to be, and it's not a lot of work. It's not like it was work. It was just one more thing I couldn't
It was just
do.
one more thing to juggle, really,
Yep.
along with trying to make sure that your 2-year-old doesn't get lost.
Yeah, seriously. And
That's like the priority.
yeah.
Understandably so.
Yeah, it was one of my saddest failures, but anyway, so back to PhotoPass. Okay, so this also goes back to, thankfully I handed my camera to the PhotoPass person, and even though you're buying PhotoPass, I always am going to recommend handing your camera to the PhotoPass people and or taking your own photos. Like if, while Scarlett's meeting a character, the PhotoPass guy's snapping away, but I'm snapping away as well. And here's why. And this, thankfully, I was doing this when we met Merida on our second day, because we had this amazing Merida and amazing experience with her where she really spent a lot of time, and there was a long line to meet her. It wasn't like there was nobody waiting. It was quite a few people waiting. But she spent so much time playing with Scarlett and hugging her. And at first, Scarlett, she's a 2-year-old, so her attention is all over the place. She's looking at the bears and because there's a lot to look at her little meet and greet area. And so Merida was really patient, and just sort of like wanted to get her attention. And then she took her over and showed her bow, and they played with her bow and arrow. And it was so sweet. Like, it was just on and on and on. So much cute attention and sweet stuff. And I was really impressed with the PhotoPass guy, because he was like all over getting all these angles. And I was like, wow, this is a good PhotoPass person. Because sometimes they don't do that.
Right.
Sometimes they're just like, they snap the
one photo.
Yes. And I'm like, and so I've found myself telling them, please take a lot of pictures, because we're getting a PhotoPass. I tell them that when we get there, and that sometimes helps, but sometimes even that doesn't help.
True.
But anyway, he was all over the place. And I was like, ooh, good. But for some reason, I thought, I'm going to still take my own pictures, because I like to take pictures and it's fun. So thankfully, I didn't rely on him, because then he comes up to me with this, like, he was like white. And he was like, I am so sorry. He's like, my camera malfunctioned. My flash was being weird, and none of your pictures are usable. He's like, he just felt so bad. And I'm like, because I was like, I hope my pictures are good, because that was so magical. It was probably one of the highlights of our trip. It was so special. And so I was like, I was a little bit sad, but thankfully I had taken my own pictures, and I wasn't just relying on PhotoPass. So there's just that happens. I mean, it can happen to me too. I could have set the wrong setting and not realized it or something, And so PhotoPass is not always 100% going to be there. So take your own photos too as a backup. And luckily, as I have some really great pictures of it, and I have a lot of those sweet little moments, and it's good. Like, I'm really, really glad I have my pictures, because it would be so sad if I had just said, oh, PhotoPass has got it, I'm good. Thankfully I didn't do that. So I would say, even if you are getting PhotoPass, take some pictures on your own, or hand your camera, like I did with the castle picture, to somebody, to one of the other persons, because that was really sad that we didn't have those on PhotoPass, because they're really cute.
So bad.
He did. I mean, he looked so distraught. Like he looked so sad. And I don't even think I had told him that we were buying PhotoPass. So, I mean, maybe somebody else would have been like, oh, whatever. But anyway, I always take your own photos. And another thing I learned is, if a cast member, like one of the character handlers or whatever, offers to take your camera while you meet a character, go ahead and let them. Because I mean, I took some, candids and stuff, and then I would hand it if they offered, because I had these 2 different experiences where a cast member said, hey, do you want me to take your camera? I'll take some pictures for you. And I was like, okay. Like, usually they don't want to take your camera off of you, And I was like, sure. So I gave it to them, and these two cast members on separate days took all of these great candids of me and Josh and Scarlett all together meeting the characters. And that, I mean, we had those on PhotoPass too, because the PhotoPass guy was standing next to him taking pictures, but they're on my camera. So it's great. Like, I don't know. It was good to like have those. It was unexpected. I thought he would just take our picture of us standing there with Mickey Mouse. But instead of that, I have like all these cute pictures of us like talking to him and signing the autograph book and stuff like that I wouldn't expect. Like, they're just a few shots. Like, I don't know if he is a photographer or likes photography. I don't know. But he took all these pictures. I was like, sweet.
I had the same thing happen when I was down there during limited time magic with the characters, the long lost friends that were out, and two cast members that were character handlers asked if they could use my phone to take pictures while I was up there, and I didn't even check at all. I didn't notice what they were taking pictures of, and I didn't check them until we left the character area, and I pulled them up, and two of the cast members got tons of photos of the interactions where the PhotoPass photographers had been instructed to only take 1 or 2 photos to try and help the line move. And so the handler got tons of pictures of me hugging the characters and of them making a fuss over mini me and all of that. It was just extra magic to pull up my phone and be like, whoa, these pictures I didn't know about.
Yeah. And actually, you know what? I'm looking at now, I just pulled up my PhotoPass ones versus the ones that the cast member was taking. And he didn't take any candids. They're all just the posed. The posed pictures where this guy, I mean, I had taken my own candids of just Scarlett and we met Goofy as well, and this way where we have all this cast member pictures, but, and the PhotoPass guy just took the normal, you know, stand and smile pictures, which are adorable. But then on my camera, I have all these ones of all 3 of us meeting Goofy, which is so fun because that never happens, like when you're just by yourself. So if you are lucky enough to have a cast member who is into taking pictures for you, go ahead and let them. Because I could have been like, oh, no, it's okay. Don't, you know, we got it. Like, I'm surprised I didn't say that.
Right.
Because that's what I would normally say, especially when I have my big DSLR that I'm handing to a cast member, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I was glad I did it because it turned out really well. So that was fun.
I love cast members. They're the best.
I know. So a couple other things on PhotoPass is you never know when they're going to pop up. I learned, like, we were at, now I'm not going to know what it's called. The place in Carsland, the first place on the right side where they have, what's his name with the alternative fuel and it's like all hippie themed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there's those beads, like a bead curtain. Okay. So
which they took down for a while and now it's back up.
Oh, I didn't know that, but it was there when we were there. So the bead curtain was there and Scarlett is in the beads playing with these beads and being so cute. And I was sort of taking pictures, but really we were just having like a little moment of just let her play and let's not hustle to some other ride. You know, we'll just take a little breather here. And so she was playing in all these beads and
it's Fillmore's.
Yes, Fillmore's. Yeah. Thank you. So there's this really cute bead curtain where they're like these oversized, chunky hippie beads, you know, and she's playing in them and she was being really cute, I guess, and caught the notice of a PhotoPass person. And so up comes this PhotoPass lady out of nowhere and is like, can I take some pictures of her? I'm like, sure. So she took all these really cute pictures of Scarlett, like playing peekaboo, and she was really patient because it was hard to like get her to cooperate to like look through the beads and but it was they turned out really cute. And I mean, I was taking the same kind of pictures, but hers are really nice. Like they're really bright and pretty, and it's just not a place I expected a PhotoPass person to turn up. So that was fun. And we also sort of hit our photo op limit. Because it was sort of an ordeal. Every time we wanted to stop and take a picture, it was like, get Scarlett out of the stroller, and it was really hot, and get her to look at the camera and smile and whatever. And Josh turned to me at one point and is like, I only have a couple more photo ops in me. And I said, okay. And I was glad he was honest.
Yes.
And I said, okay. And he's like, I just feel like we're going from photo op to photo op instead of just enjoying what we're doing and being here. And I was like, I told him, I said, but that's how I remember what we were doing. And that's my memory, you know? And he was like, I know, but we just need to soak it in and enjoy it. And I was like, I was a little bit like, at first, because, I love to take pictures, but I realized it was true. Like I really was at my limit as well. I don't know that I could have continued stopping and taking in photos, much longer either.
Yeah.
But, So I think there's a point where even if you have PhotoPass and you're going from spot to spot, you really do just sort of have to stop and enjoy and play and be there be present and stop trying to get all the photo ops. It was a good lesson to have my husband help me learn.
Yeah.
So it was good. And after that, we only have, I think, like 2 other photo ops left on our PhotoPass after that. So we really were at our limit of a couple more. So all in all, with our PhotoPass, we only came home with 109 photos on our PhotoPass, but for 2.5 days I guess really just 2 days since we're missing our whole first day, I guess 109 photos in 2 days is pretty good.
That's really good.
I think it was worth it. I don't know. It's like, okay, so we spent $70 or $69 on our CD, and it's like you only have 100 photos. It's like, oh, is that worth it? Because, last time we paid the same price and came home with like 500 photos. So it's like, is it worth it? But as I go through, I'm like, how do you put a price tag on these pictures? Like, they're so special to me, at least, to have lots of photos. I don't know. Even though I took a lot of them myself, on my own camera too, like I have duplicates a lot, but I don't know. I love them. And I think
part of it's security, I think, to know the security and knowing that you've got a good shot somewhere, whether it's your camera or their camera.
Yeah. Yep.
There's a lot to be said for that. And just like you said, it's hard to put a price tag on that.
Yeah. Especially when it was just the 3 of us. It was worth it for me to have the PhotoPass for the group shots, just because then I knew I didn't have to like always hand my camera off and just rely on someone or whether it's PhotoPass person or not, to get a good picture with my camera, because who knows what kind of picture they'll get with my camera, and it's not theirs. How do you know?
Yeah.
And I will say that their PhotoPass settings are pretty good, for the Royal Hall where you meet the princesses. We've talked about the lighting in there, and this is my first experience with that horrible, awful lighting, and I still, for the life of me, cannot understand it.
I know.
Like, the whole purpose of the place is to get pictures with princesses, and that's the lighting you put in there. I don't know. It just makes no sense. But their settings look great. Like, their pictures look really good.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, they're all calibrated to what it's supposed to look like in there. And where mine, I use my flash, but they're okay. I think their PhotoPasses are much better.
Good to know. Very good.
So yeah, that was my experience with PhotoPass while we were there. It was really good.
That's good. Good to hear.
Some lessons that we learned the hard way.
Still a believer in PhotoPass.
Yes, for sure. And it makes me super excited to get it with my whole big group family in October, for sure. And they're all excited about that too. I've talked up PhotoPass enough that they're all like, yeah, they're all on board.
Yay.
Yeah. So, okay. My next, do we have anything else on PhotoPass?
Nope. I was waiting for you to go on.
Move on.
Good.
Okay. So since we've talking about Fantasy Fair and the Royal Hall, I guess I'll just finish my notes on that subject. The Royal Theater with the shows there are so great. We unfortunately missed the Beauty and the Beast show, but we got to see the Tangled show, and it was so good. I wish we would have got there a little earlier to get a better seat, because it's just so flat in there that you can't, if you're not on the first couple rows, or if your kids aren't on the front on the rugs, it is kind of hard to see just because it's flat and small, So it was a little hard to see, especially with Scarlett. We were kind of having to have her stand up on our laps or whatever, but so get there a little early for that. But the meet and greet afterwards was great. We ended up we didn't get in line quick enough, and so we were like the last people. So we did have a slight wait to meet Rapunzel and Flynn Rider together, but it was fun to be able to meet them together. And I was told by some cast members that that's the only place you can do that now, that they don't meet together at the Tangled meet and greet area. Like, it's just Rapunzel. So if you want to meet Rapunzel and Flynn, or just if you want to meet Flynn in general, you have to do the Tangled meet and greet after the show, which they don't really announce it or anything. You just have to kind of know to wait.
Right.
And the line forms pretty quickly. So it's like, you figure it out. You're like, people are waiting for a reason here, But we luckily met like the best Flynn Rider, and Scarlett was the most excited to meet Flynn Rider out of anyone. Like if you asked her, who are you going to meet at Disneyland? She talked about Flynn Rider. I don't know why. She just has this major crush on Flynn Rider.
Cute.
And so she all but ignored Rapunzel. Like poor Rapunzel is sitting there just like, okay. Like she just got kind of shunned a little bit. I mean, she hugged her and was excited to meet Rapunzel for sure, but she was way more excited to meet Flynn Rider. And he just like ate it up. Like he was so sweet with her and so cute. Like it's just, and he was really good at all the poses and getting really good pictures. And it was a very, very awesome thing. And there is no photo pass in there. So those, you have to just really take your own pictures. You have to be good. Yeah. Get the pictures you want. And there's some natural lighting and stuff because it's somewhat outside, I guess. So it's not like the Royal Hall, but
not quite as bad.
Yeah. A great character meet opportunity there after the shows. And I guess that's one of the main places you can meet Belle now too. So, because otherwise she's just at random other places. But like if you have to meet Belle, then go after the show because that's really the only like set place that she has to meet anymore.
And is she meeting in her dress there? She's always in her dress at Disneyland.
I think so. I saw somebody's picture. This is part that confuses me as I have to ask. I think maybe it was Tanya. I don't know. Somebody posted a picture of them meeting Rapunzel and it looked like the background was this theater and she was wearing her blue and white dress.
Of Belle.
Yeah, which confuses me because I know that she meets in her big new yellow dress there because my nieces have met her there and I've seen those pictures. So I'll ask that person where you could meet her in a blue and white dress because that's fun too.
Yeah, that would be really fun because that's a difficult thing to do in Disneyland. Find her in her blue dress.
I wonder if they met her. I have to ask. It's just occurring to me now that how weird that was that I saw that. So I'll ask that person. I'll have to figure out who it was first.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I've never met her in her blue dress, and that's one of the things that I need to do next time I'm in Disney World.
The only time I met her in her blue dress was at the Cinderella's Royal Table at Disney World at the Magic Kingdom in the castle. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, she's always in her yellow dress when I've met her. I have still not seen her brand new dress. I'm very excited, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's not quite as
yellow.
Yeah.
Toned down.
It's a prettier yellow. Yeah, for sure.
I'm excited. I didn't love her old dress, so I'm excited.
Yeah.
So Fantasy Fair in general, amazing. Everything I expected it to be. I mean, I felt like I didn't really go in with any surprises because we had talked about it so much on the show. Mm-hmm. But Josh did. He hadn't seen anything about it. Like he avoided seeing stuff about it. So to him, it was all new and fun and exciting. And I had my, what's it called? The thing you love, the drink.
Yes, that apple.
Poison apple.
Yes.
Free. Oh, so good.
So good, right?
So good. I didn't get the twist because I was never there at a time where I was hungry, but I want to get it next time. So when we're there, hopefully we can get one.
We're totally going on a food haunt.
Yes. I'm excited about that. So yes, I got the Poison Apple Freeze while we were waiting to see Rapunzel and Flynn Rider. It was very nice and refreshing.
Fun.
If you go see the princesses in the Royal Hall, first thing in the morning, like if you just go straight there, even if you're not there at rope drop, but somewhat early in the morning, there's almost no wait. Little to no wait. But if you go later, then the line gets super long. I don't really understand the size of the switchback queue that they made. I can't imagine that ever being full because it is humongous. And if it was full, you would be standing in that line for 4 hours.
To meet the princesses. Yeah.
The switchback line is so huge. It's like, what were they thinking that would ever be full?
Who knows?
I don't know. But when we would go, we went first thing in the morning and there was little to no wait. It was great. Scarlett dressed up like Snow White and we tried all day to meet Snow White. We tried every trick in the book, talking to cast members, telling this person, asking that person. I mean, we tried everything and we could not find her all day long. It was so sad because we had this little cute Snow White and we wanted her to meet Snow White so bad and she never met her. So next time we just had to finally take a breath and say, okay, it's not meant to be. It's just not going to happen. I mean, I really did try everything that I could think of. And like we had cast members trying to find her for us and saying, stay here for a few minutes. She might be here. It was not happening. It was crazy. Yeah, we even, because she's dressed like Snow White, so all of the characters like Flynn Rider and Rapunzel asked her if she had met Snow White yet. And we said no, but we're trying to. And they were like, go by her wishing. And he looked at me kind of like in this knowing, I'm talking to you right now, way, and was like, go by the wishing well and be persistent. She'll show up. And I was like, okay. And so we really, I mean, we tried everything. She just was all over that day. It was a weird day where they wouldn't tell us this, but I think they had a princess missing, and Snow White was sort of floating between the royal hall and the wishing well and all over the place. And so we could never, it was not in the cards.
Right.
Which was really sad. Because you think normally I tell people, if there's a certain character you want to meet, you can make it happen. Like you can talk to the right people and make it happen. No. Even with all of my expertise, it just was not going to happen that day. So sometimes it's not in the cards, but it was still really, it was okay. I mean, she wanted to meet her. She talked about meeting her all day, but she was okay. Like it's not like she cried about it or anything. So,
right.
Next time. So, well, hopefully the dress will still fit her by October and we can try again.
There you go.
Because she looked so cute. Okay. So I think that's it on Fantasy Fair as far as my memory keeping tips would go. So I wore my camera 24/7, Katrina Kennedy style, right?
Awesome.
Like she talks about in her article. I'll link up to that. I feel like I've linked up to that in like 20 show notes, but I love that article she wrote on our Capturing Magic blog about how to carry your DSLR to Disney. And I really did try it. And I would say it was a success for sure. The first day we were there, I tried to wear, because she says leave other lenses at home, like just don't bring your camera bag, just bring your camera and your lens, and that's it. And wear it all day long, right? So I wanted to do that, but I thought, well, if I bring my fixed 55 millimeter lens, then I'll probably love it because it's so small and light and it's not going to be bulky and whatever. And I love that lens. Normally I use it constantly for like everything, but for Disneyland, it just doesn't work. Like for me, as far as wearing it all day, because it's a fixed zoom and I just wasn't getting the pictures I wanted. I didn't have the freedom to like zoom in and zoom out, and I had to back way up when I was trying to take character pictures or, whatever. Like it wasn't the right lens for me. And so the first day of wearing my camera all day, I thought maybe this isn't going to work for me. Like maybe this is just not the method for me. But I tried my other lens the next day, which is a 28 to 135 millimeter zoom. And it was, even though it was heavy and it like what's that called when it like falls out? Like it doesn't stay in, it falls zoomed when you walk, Yeah. So it's really big, but it really ended up being worth it. Like I liked having that lens on all the time way more than I liked having my other lens on. And it was a little scary because I did sort of bang my camera around more than I'm used to. Like I baby my DSLR. And so I did kind of, knock it a couple times, and I think I annoyed the crap out of my husband just because I was like, it's his camera too. It's not like it's just my camera. Like we both use it, and so I think he was sort of watching me going, like all the time because like I kind of broke the eyepiece a little bit, I think, and so it wouldn't stay on all the way. So we were like constantly almost losing the eyepiece. Like I lost it a couple times where like then I luckily found it. Anyway, so it's definitely an adjustment. There's a learning curve to carrying it all day long. But the more I did it, the more I liked it. I didn't go hardcore like I think Katrina does, where really she never ever takes it off. Like I took it off when I was eating, and then a few other short times when I just needed a camera break because it was really hot. And when you have like a 2-year-old and a stroller and all this other stuff, it's a little bit hard to carry a DSLR constantly. And Josh wore it a few times to take pictures. But otherwise, I think it was a really good experiment for me to see if I liked carrying my camera 24/7. And I think because I did that, I ended up with a lot more pictures and a lot more good pictures that I maybe would have like been like, oh, but my camera's clear down there and I don't really want to get it out, whereas I had it on me. So I was just like, oh, okay, snap, snap, snap,
Right.
There are certain moments I know that I would not have taken pictures if I wouldn't have had it on me that I like those pictures a lot. So
that's good. I'm glad it worked out.
Yeah. So I think it's a good thing to try and see if you like it. I don't know that it's for everyone maybe, but it was good. Good to wear. Good to try it. I think I'll continue to do it. I was surprised that by the third day I wasn't really sick of it. Like I just still found myself carrying it on me most of the day. I will say by the end of the day, sometimes I was like, okay, let's put it in the stroller, underneath. Yeah. But yeah, it was good. So yeah, that was a good experiment for me. I'm trying to think what else. I feel like I've been talking forever. Do you want a lot more notes? I have other things to talk about.
Yeah, well, we're kind of getting low on time. Do you want to take a few of your, maybe your last few top tips?
Yes. Okay. Sure. Okay. Let me tell you about another one of my big fails.
Learning from Brittney's failures today.
I know, right? Okay, so it's not really a total fail, but it is kind of. So I wanted to do a smash book, right? I talked about that on previous shows. Like next time I go to Disney, I'm totally going to do a smash book. So because I had a limited amount of time, I was at Michael's and they had a kit of smash book kit and it looked really great for Disney. Good colors, fun, bright, whatever. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to buy this kit. Then I don't have to worry about finding all my doodads and odds and ends. I'm going to take this to Disney. So I took it. I had it there with me in the hotel room. I put it right on the little nightstand. And I was like, when I get home at night, I can put my things in. So I was collecting all through the day and thinking about how I want to do my smash book. I did not even touch my smash book the entire trip. It never came out of its package. It never happened because by the time we got back to the room, I was so beat. Like I was so tired. I wanted to do nothing. Like I just needed to put my sore feet up and cool off and go to sleep. Like it didn't happen. And so it's not a total failure because I still want to make my smash book and I have all the things that I want to put in it. It's just not something I think is a reality for me to do at the park. I just don't have that kind of energy when we get back to the room. Right. And I know some people do. I mean, obviously people do it. They make it while they're there. But for me, it's not something I can do while I'm at the park. It didn't happen for me. I don't know. Do you feel like that's something you could do when you get back? It's not.
At Disneyland, here's the funny thing. I've tried to do some stuff at Disneyland, and I'm never successful with it. At Disney World, I have been. But I think Disneyland tends to have later hours than Disney World, I think. And what in my memories and my experiences with the parks, I don't know if it's the times of year that we go. Maybe. But especially on the weekends, Disneyland stays open later because they have more locals that come. The population of Disneyland doubles or triples or quadruples over the weekend during the off-peak times. At Disney World, it doesn't change as much on a weekend versus a not weekend. You might have different parks that are more busy. Epcot, for instance, is typically more busy on a weekend because there are more locals that will go to that park to go to dinner or certain things like that. And so, so the hours are more stable, I guess, and earlier at Disney World than they are at Disneyland. And so I've had more success. At Disneyland, it's really hard because we typically, anytime we go to any parks, Disneyland or Disney World, we're a lot like you, and we're going from the time the park opens until it closes. I guess maybe that's not what you did this last trip. But
well, no. I wish I could say that we did. I'm like, yeah, it's because we didn't get back to the hotel till midnight. No, we were back at the hotel just because Scarlett couldn't go much longer and we couldn't go much longer, just energy-wise. So we really did sort of call it a day earlier than normal on a normal trip. But normally we do stay pretty late. But we were so exhausted this trip. It must have been a pregnancy thing. I don't know. But I was so tired that we were like, okay, let's just go back to the hotel. Like, it's not worth it. It's not worth being miserable. Let's just be done for the day and be happy, and get some sleep. So it's not like we were there super late. It was just an energy time thing. But because we were taking earlier nights, this is one of my things I put on my notes under touring with a toddler is because we were doing earlier nights. It did allow us to get there early in the morning, which was good because that's the time you need to be there early to do Fantasyland and other things that toddlers love to do before it gets super crowded and crazy. Mm-hmm. So that was a good part of turning in early, is we could get there in the next day or nice and early. But yeah, I don't know. I hope. I'm planning because I have such cute stuff. I really do want to make my Smash book. I don't know that it's ever going to be something I can do in the park until maybe I don't have little children anymore.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
I know. It's just not something that worked for me. Exactly. So that's why I say it's a fail, because I thought that that's what I was going to be able to do, but not really a fail because it's not like I can't still do it.
Yeah, my youngest sister, they went to Disneyland. I don't remember when they went last, in the spring sometime. And she has 2 little kids, and she was determined that she was going to have a photo book made by the time she got home from her trip. Ugh. And she did. She went back to her room at night, and she worked on the photo book, and then worked on it on the drive home, because she lives in Utah as well, and so had the whole drive, and she took Dramamine because normally she gets super motion sickness. And so she took Dramamine and worked on it on her computer and iPad the whole way. She just had it all figured out how she was going to do it, and loaded everything onto her iPad and found a photo book company that she could use the software on her iPad, and just did all of it right on her iPad. Yeah.
Good for her. See, that's the thing, is I just think everybody's
different. Yeah.
Everybody is different. And it's not like I didn't have any time back at the hotel. It's just not how I wanted to spend that time. I really just needed to decompress and not do, it was like my time where I could just relax and turn off my brain a little bit.
Yep.
So it's just, everybody's different. Everybody's different.
Yep.
So
exactly.
I would say other things about touring with a toddler is just maybe do what is easy and what she wants to do. Like, it was sort of, because our focus is on her. When it's just the 3 of us, we're really there for her. It's not like it was her trip, if we're being honest. So, because it's just the 3 of us. And, when she walks by the carousel, she wants to ride it because it's there. She can see it. Yeah. It's right there. So, and the carousel is great because there's hardly ever a line. Even on our busiest days when we were there, there's hardly ever a wait for the carousel. So that's something easy that you can say yes. You don't always, because it was hard because she wants to do certain things, and you have to tell her, well, the parade isn't until this time, or no, we can't ride Dumbo right now because there's a 40-minute wait, and that's not possible for us. Like, you will not make it a 40-minute wait, Yeah. So like, you have to tell her no on certain things, but there are things that you can just say yes, and then she's not constantly being told wait or no. She really did have to learn about waiting her turn, and that's something that a 2-year-old has to learn at some point, and she hasn't had a lot of experience with. So by the end of the trip, she really did understand, I wait my turn? Is it my turn yet? Like, she did kind of get that. And so there are certain ways you can say yes, and let her, be able to feel like she got her way a little bit, where if it's the carousel or teacups or something that she can see and wants to ride that has a short line, we could go and do that, which helps. I know some sort of sounds like a touring tip here, but for me, it helped to create happier memories where we weren't constantly like on a schedule. Okay, now we're going to go to this ride, and then we're going to go to that ride. If we really just kind of were a little bit looser with what we were doing, and if we let her, pick a couple things and do what she wanted to do, it ended up being a smoother ride with a toddler, I think.
That's good.
And we used our early morning on our ticket, because the way we did it, we used our tickets instead of our annual passes until the last day, and then upgraded to annual passes. And here's why. Because we wanted our early morning, which was going to be on Saturday, and that was our last day. And those 3 days were annual pass blackout days. And so by using the ticket, we sort of avoided being blocked out, where if we would have upgraded the first day, then we would have been blocked out the next 2 days. But when you use your ticket, even when you upgrade to an annual pass on a blackout day, you can still use your annual pass that day. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. It's just sort of a loophole as far as if you want to get in on a day, and still, if you're getting a new annual pass, you can get a new annual pass on a blackout day by just using your ticket and then upgrading.
One of the things that we did, because we did that when my husband and I went in April, we upgraded him to an annual pass, and we were waiting to upgrade it until the last day for the same reason, because of blackouts. And then I had annual passes, though, had early entry one of the days, because that's when they were doing the early entries. And so I wanted him to get an early entry. And so we went and asked them if we could upgrade him to an annual pass and then buy him a day pass so that he could get in on the blackout day and get in on the early entry with me on my pass. We were totally willing to pay for it, because you can do that when you're on a blackout day. You can buy a day pass.
A blackout ticket, basically.
Yes. And they were so nice. They said, "No, why are you doing this? You can wait and upgrade tomorrow if that's your last day." And I said, "Yeah, but I have early entry because I'm an annual pass holder right now, and I don't want to go in tomorrow morning by myself early to ride Radiator Racers. And so we need to upgrade him to an annual pass and then buy him a blackout pass so that he can go in early with me." And they just ended up handing us through the window a card that gave him permission to get in early with me. And we didn't have to upgrade that day.
Oh, nice.
And so they said, just come back tomorrow and upgrade tomorrow instead, so you don't have to pay the extra for the blackout pass. Super nice.
So cool. Like, it's not like we're doing some loophole.
No,
where like they tell you, don't upgrade until you're done with these blackout days or whatever. Like they're very. I mean, we learned this trick from them.
Yeah, exactly.
because we thought the same thing the first time we were getting annual passes. We said, okay, we want to get an annual pass today, but we understand it's a blackout day today, so we'll pay the blackout ticket as well. And they were like, oh no, if you buy your annual pass on a blackout day, you still can get in with it. And we're like, oh, okay. Yeah. So we didn't know that until they told us that.
That's great.
But yeah, with our early morning, we did Nemo, which always has a long, slow line, because those subs are just slow loaders. No matter when you go, I swear that line is always long and slow. So we did that with our early morning. And luckily we did it, because then as we were getting off, there was no line, like there was no people. And we're like, are you shut down right now? And they're like, yeah, we had to shut down temporarily. I was like, well, thank goodness we didn't get stuck on the subs. Like that would not be the easiest place to get stuck with a 2-year-old in a little tiny sub. So they had shut it down for some reason. So luckily we got to do that with our early morning, and we did Dumbo because it usually has a pretty long line, but not too bad. I mean, it's always sort of doable. I do regret not doing Peter Pan. We always tend to just sort of walk past it because it's always such a long line. But I do regret not just biting the bullet and doing it, because I know Scarlett would have just loved it. And it was one of those things we kind of just not forgot, but just kept saying like, oh, we'll do it later. And then we just never did it. So maybe if you have certain little rides or memories that you really want to do, don't just say you're going to do them later. Like, just get them done. That's pretty much all my notes. I'm trying to go back through. Oh, our autograph book. I was just going to talk briefly about it. I mentioned it in my last minute Disney trip article that I wrote. It was the first time we've really collected autographs before, and I made her a really quick one before we left, and something I could do in like a day because I didn't have a lot of time, and it ended up working really, really well. So if you want to go back and look at how I did my autograph book, it worked great. I will say I accidentally bought extra fine clickable Sharpies without noticing. So when I got there, I realized I had extra fine Sharpies instead of normal Sharpies, which at first I was super bummed about. But now as I look at my autographs, I actually kind of like it. So I don't know. It's just a little thinner. It's not like a big, thick Sharpie. It's really thin. But I didn't even know there were clickable extra fine Sharpies. So I just grabbed them off the shelf without looking. She's a little young, Scarlett, for autographs still. Like, she doesn't totally get it and doesn't totally care. But it was still fun for her to have them and to kind of watch them write on her book. Like, it was a little bit fun. But, like, it was hard to kind of juggle because I wanted her because she is so excited that she wanted to run up and hug characters. And if she was holding a book, she couldn't really do that. So either one of us was constantly holding the book and then tossing it into them, like, here, have them sign your book, you know, like it wasn't ours. Like, here, Scarlett, here's your book, you know, like,
right.
So it was sort of like we just had to be in charge of it the whole time. And it was still really fun. And it gives you a little extra time and photo time to take pictures with the characters. It's just a little extra time that it gives you. We got to meet some great characters while we were there. We met Patriotic Mickey, which was a limited time magic thing. We met Daisy, which is like one of my like white whales. Like I never ever get to meet Daisy. I've never even seen her at the parks. And so I saw her walking past when we were waiting to see Patriotic Mickey, and my heart started like pounding and I started freaking out. I was like, good job. I was like, Daisy, it's Daisy. And you know, like I'm like, a child myself, and Josh was like, okay, well, we'll go see her. We're almost here to see Patriotic Mickey. Cause like, I was like, do we bail out of this line? Like go to see her? Cause I can't miss it, you know?
Yeah.
So we met Mickey and then ran over him and got to meet Daisy. And that was so fun. Cause she's just not a character that's at Disneyland hardly at all. And so it was very, very exciting for me. It was one of my big moments. And then we got to meet Sophia the First, which is a brand new character. Yeah, we got to meet her in Hollywoodland, just right outside the animation building. And we were like first in line to meet her because they told us we had met Jake and the Neverland Pirates, you know, before. And we're like, is Sophia coming out next? And they said yes. So we went, I can't remember what, we went and did something and came back and saw that Jake was leaving. So we're like, okay, well, we'll wait because Sophia will be right out. And then we were the first ones to meet her. So that was fun. Cool. And she's just adorable. She's a great new addition, I think, to characters. Like she's so cute. They did a great job with her. Like she's just absolutely adorable to look at. Yeah. And Scarlett was so excited because it's just a character she completely knows and is really familiar with and has seen a ton, you know? Right. So it was very, very fun for her. Fun. And like I told you before, we met Goofy, and we met him after, thanks to a tip from Tanya, we met him after the Instant concert. Instant concert, Just Add Water. And they do those little shows at the pier, what's it called?
In California Adventure in the where the World of Color showcase basically is.
Yes, right there in the gardens, theater, whatever it's called. And so, thanks to Tanya, she said as soon as the concert ends, just follow Goofy, like stand right by Goofy, watch him walk down. He walks down off his little pedestal. You just walk right behind him, and then he stops and you can meet him. And because we did that, we were right first in line to meet him. And the line grew really quickly. And so we were very glad that we had, thank you, Tanya, for telling us. Because we just walked right behind him, and it was so cute because Scarlett was just like walking behind him like, I want to meet him. We're like, we're going to go. And she's like, Goofy, it's me, Scarlett. So we got there and met him. And it's fun because he's like in his like cute conductor tuxedo, which is a kind of a different outfit than he usually meets in. So that was really fun. And he was just a hoot. So that was very fun and a good little, not a secret meet and greet, but maybe one I wouldn't have known about it if Tanya wouldn't have told me. So that was very fun. I guess that's it. I could go on and on, of course, but those are most of my main successes and failures for capturing magic. Overall, it was a great trip. It was a whirlwind for sure. It was a very short trip, thrown together, but it was still very magical and something that I will treasure for my family. And I'm so glad that I have so many pictures and different ways that I documented our experiences so that I can, because that's what it's all about for me, is making those memories live on, and so that you can go back and remember them, you know. That's what it's about for me. So
perfect way to end. Perfect sentiments. Let's move on to picks with Pixie Dust then. Do you have a pick?
I do. I just feel like I've been talking like this whole entire show, so I'm sorry.
It's all good. It's all good.
I'll make it a quick pick. So I just downloaded an app, and it's called The Big Day. Oh my gosh, is that what it's called? It's my pick, and I should know what it's called. Let's see. Big Day. It's called Big Day. And it's just an event countdown app. And I just bought the free one, or not bought, but I just downloaded the free one just to see if I liked it before I paid the 99 cents to get the like upgraded one, just because I thought, well, let's just see, you know. And the free one does what I need it to do. So I'm not sure that I'm going to buy the bigger one, even though it's only 99 cents. It's just a countdown app. You put in your event, what you're going to do, and when you're going, and then it gives you a little countdown of how many days. And it's nice because it's really clean, and it doesn't have ads or other like banners. And I'm picky about the way my apps look, and it's nice and clean and simple. And then you can put your own picture of whatever you want behind it. So like mine is a picture from our last trip we just took of me and Scarlett on Dumbo. It's a really cute picture. And then you can tap and like move the counter anywhere on the picture that you want. So I kind of put it in the corner where it was out of the way. And then it tells you how many days you have to your next Disneyland trip. And I always like to know how many days till our next trip, even if it's really long ways out.
Yeah.
So it's just it's a good app. If you just need something simple for one event and how many days, that's a good one. If you upgrade to the one that's 99 cents, you can put in multiple trips. This one, if the free one only does one, and then there's other like fancy things that the upgraded one does, but I don't really care. So maybe I'll upgrade. I don't know. Right now I'm just using the free one. So it's called Big Day. That's my pick.
Perfect. Okay. My pick is an app, by Disney.
Pick apps today.
Yeah.
I mean, app picks.
App picks. And I believe that this is available for both Android and iPhone. And it's called Photo Finish by Disney. And it's pretty cool because you can go in and put your head on stars, or put their body on your head, I guess, sort of. Huh. So you can go in. They've got Teen Beach Movie right now, starring role Gravity Falls and Phineas and Ferb, and it's pretty hilarious. My kids had a blast doing that and making my daughter look all crazy with yeah, it was super fun. So they just have tons of ways that you can decorate the photos. There are additional packs that you can buy as well. And I think you might even be able to add like little video things too. I don't know for sure. But I haven't explored the whole entire app. We did quite a bit, and the kids were dying laughing. And I thought, I can't believe I haven't seen this app. It just came out in May or June, I think, is when it was released. They just did an update recently. And it's super fun. And for, a Disney photo app, it's fun.
Is it free?
It is free. And
it's more, it sounds like from what shows you said, it's more like Disney Channel stuff.
Yeah, Disney Channel, definitely.
Disney movies.
Yeah, definitely Disney Channel stuff to promote their newest. In fact, the icon on the app, it's like a little camera and then a little portion of the Disney Channel logo.
Okay. So yeah, for sure Disney.
Yeah, definitely promoting their stuff that they have going on there. But it was fun.
Cool.
A way to get some of those characters and things in your scrapbooks if you want.
Yeah. That's fun. Oh, I should mention on my pick. Sorry. I just remembered, speaking of getting those into your scrapbook, you reminded me of it. If you upgrade to the 99-cent one, then you can like download a picture of your countdown screen so that you can like put that in your scrapbook if you want.
Oh, cool.
Instead of just taking a screenshot, I guess you can actually like save a picture. Yeah.
So maybe it's higher resolution or something?
Maybe, yeah, something. I know that I think I got this app from Aaron, one of Aaron's articles on the blog, because he uses it, I think, and he puts those in his scrapbook a lot for like his weekly project life. He like puts how many days they have to their trip, and he uses that app to download how many days.
Yeah, I guess one of the differences between that and a screenshot would be you wouldn't have all of the bars and stuff, the time and your battery and all of that stuff in there.
Yeah, which you'd have to crop them out.
Yeah,
but anyway, so that's another reason if you wanted to upgrade. Sorry, I didn't mean to go back to my pick.
You're totally fine.
I forgot about it until just now.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's it. We're good. Do you want to remind everyone where they can find you?
Yep, I'm at BritishDesigns.com, and that's where you'll find my digital scrapbooks shop and my blog and links to Facebook and all those kind of type things for British Designs.
Perfect. I'm Steph. You can find me at capturingmagic.me, and my other podcast is The Digi Show if you want to check that out. And we would love to have you come to capturingmagic.me and connect with us in the way that you like to be connected with.
Because there's so many ways to do it.
Yeah. So we're on Pinterest, YouTube, Facebook. I'm like, what's that one that I'm not on? Facebook, Twitter, and we have a newsletter as well. We have a lot of people signed up for a newsletter, which is pretty exciting, and it's a highly engaged group of people that get the daily updates from the website. We have pretty popular Pinterest pages as well, with links and pins on capturing and creating magic. So we would love to have you come and connect with those with us on those. So come to capturingmagic.me, and the social media icons are in the right side or the bottom of the page on every single page, and just connect with us because we'd love to hear from you. And we're picking up lots of new listeners because we're on the Touring Ponds Network now, and we would like to hear from you. So lots of listeners have been sending me emails with their own tip suggestions and things that they've done and picked up along the way. So we will be having a mail episode pretty soon, sharing some of those. So if you have any that you want to share, please drop us a note or a tweet or something.
Yeah, and if you want to find show notes or leave a comment specific to today's show, you just have to go to capturingmagic.me/51 because today's the 51st episode. So it's so easy to do it that way. And then it goes right to those show notes. You can see the things we've talked about today, and then comment if you have experiences or questions or whatever about today's show.
Yeah, we've been getting lots of additional tips and things like that in the comments, and we really appreciate it. Thank you.
I love when people leave comments on the show. I'm like, makes me feel like we're being heard, like
we're listening.
I don't know. Someone's out there listening.
Based on stats, we know someone's out there and people are listening, but it's always
and it makes
nice.
it real.
It does. It really does. It's amazing to be able to connect with our listeners. So we love to be able to do that. And we'll probably, speaking of connecting with the listeners, be announcing a meetup of some kind for D23 because that's always good to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
I hope that we have people come meet us. That'll be fun.
Yeah. Alrighty, thank you everyone, and we will see you back here next time where we will be capturing magic.